Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. I wanted to do a quick channel update. I haven't really done one of these for quite some time now, mainly because I haven't really hit any significant milestones in a while, but looking at my dashboard it seems that I'm coming up to 1500 videos, so I thought that would give me an excuse just to do one of these update videos. So at the time of recording this, like I said, I'm just coming up to 1500 videos. I have just short of 8,000 subscribers. It's about 7,800 and something at the moment. And just over 1.4 million channel views, which I think is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, things have actually been a little bit turbulent over the last 6 months or so. There was a period in 2015, I think it was about August, when things really started going bad for the channel. The channel views dropped down to something like 600 a day, which might seem like a lot compared to some channels, this is true. But I dropped down from sort of 2,000 a day plus to around 600, which, you know, obviously is a really, really big drop. Also, my subscribers had dropped down from an average of 7 or 8 subscribers a day down to 1 or 2 a day. And at that point, I was starting to think, you know, I really want the channel to grow. I want to gain more subscribers and gain more views. And the numbers were going down to the point where I almost considered just giving it up. I thought, it's not going to work. It's just getting more and more difficult. The channel's starting to plateau. It's only going to be so long before it actually starts to go into decline. And in fact, there were actually a few days during that period where I actually ended a day with less subscribers than I started with. And at that point, that was very, very rare. I always had a net gain of subscribers on every single day. But I decided to give it one sort of last ditch effort, and I said to myself, I want to get up to 10 subscribers a day, my average up to 10 a day from 1 a day. And I made sure that I put out 2 videos every single weekday without fail, sometimes more. Don't really think I've missed a day since. I've sort of made sure that my schedule has stayed relatively stable. Also making sure that I've had plenty of videos recorded in advance to give me more time to do other stuff. Put some videos out at weekends from time to time, little weekend series. Not all the time, because obviously my idea with doing a weekend series is that I can put 2 videos out on a Saturday and 2 videos out on a Sunday. But then if I end up being really busy, those tend to be the videos that get sacrificed, or I just go down to 1 a day. But my main mandate is to make sure that I have at least 2 videos every weekday, and I've managed to keep to that so far. And things really did improve. I went from gaining 1 to 2 subscribers a day up to an average of 10 a day just before Christmas, so I did hit my target. Over December and January, I actually went up to sort of 13 to 14 subscribers a day, so I went actually over my target. Views went back up from sort of 600 to 800 a day up to 2,000 plus a day, and over Christmas even went up to over 3,000 a day. Now, some of that was coming from Chaos Reborn. Even though that game does remain fairly niche and under the radar, it is still a game where I have some pretty exclusive content. I mean, yes, there are other people that have made YouTube videos of it, but there aren't really many other people that actually have tutorial videos and developer commentary as well. So I do still get some hits from that. Unfortunately, most of the hits that came from that video were actually from a Wares site, because when the game released, it was uploaded to a Wares site, and they basically embedded my YouTube video on the Wares site so people could see what the gameplay was, which I thought was hilarious, because it's an embedded video, so YouTube still tracks the analytics and the ads are still on there and everything. But it's really weird to see that I was getting tens of thousands of hits coming in from a Wares site. I think I can't remember the specific date. I'm actually, just while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to go and have a look at my analytics now, because I just actually can't remember what it was. And it was quite funny to see at the time. But a lot of my other views were coming in from Europa Universalis 4 videos. And a lot of that tends to be whenever Paradox have a sale, or whenever Paradox have a new expansion come out, because that tends to attract new people. People want to sort of go and start playing the game, And it's a complicated game to get into, and people go looking for tutorials. So whenever Paradox have a sale or bring out a new DLC, I do generally start getting a few hits from those. My EU4 tutorial videos are still my most watched videos at the moment, and it took quite a long time for any video to overtake my Minecraft stuff. So it's nice that I'm no longer sort of up there on the Minecraft stuff, although strategy as a whole is quite a niche genre. You know, I'd gain far more viewers if I was playing stuff like Call of Duty, even if I was playing it badly, than playing strategy games. But it is strategy games that I like, so there you go. So let me just go and look for... have we got the last year? Last year, where are we? So there was one day in particular with Chaos Reborn. Let me go and have a look at this, look at my views. YouTube analytics are terrible, by the way, trying to actually get any meaningful data from them. So, the last video that I did... I don't even think that's the video, actually. And I'll find the right one now, because I did so many. And then we'll talk about some more stuff. Was it that one? It was one of these videos. Had a massive spike. There we go. So... it was the video that I did for the alpha of Chaos Reborn that I did in, not even sure what it was, it's about April 2015. And that video basically had, like, no views ever. Most days it had, let's say, as a decent average, most days it probably had between 10 and 20 views. And then it got released and it got 97 views. And then it had a few days, or 121 views, and then it had a few days where it got like 30 or 40 views. And then the day came when it got put on a Ware's site, and I got 3,915 views on one day. And that trend sort of kept up for a few more days. So really disappointing to see views coming from a Ware's site, but that's one of those things for you. So... let's talk now about, well actually just before I round that section up, I will actually say that even though I did get those numbers up, they are starting to go back down again, and that's partially because, one, Paradox don't have a sale on at the moment, and secondly, I think some of my series are getting a little bit stale because I'm still doing EU4, I'm still doing Civ 5, things that I've not necessarily wanted to stop doing, but I have wanted to diversify them a bit more and put a bigger variety of stuff on the channel, which is why recently I have been playing an extra few games and doing a few more sort of first looks and reviews and previews and things like that. Not to mention YouTube are always messing around with their system, and a lot of channels at the moment are actually losing subscribers. There's one period every single day, it's at the same time every day, it's about midnight my time. A few months ago it was about 3 or 4 PM UK time. Now it's midnight UK time, when myself and a load of other channels all lose a chunk of subscribers all at the same time. Like YouTube's doing some sort of purge, and it happens almost every day. So I'll have one day where I actually gain 14, 15, 16 subscribers, and then all of a sudden midnight comes and I'll lose like 10 of them and I'm back down to 6, and I'm like, oh great. So, you know, it is hurting the numbers a little bit, but I will persevere on. So at the moment, the current series going on the channel is, I'm recording this on Wednesday, hopefully this video will go up today. So today will be the last day for XCOM, it'll be the final video and that series will be finished. I have enjoyed playing it, I've enjoyed it very much as a game, but it's very, very difficult to record it for the channel. I don't like splitting missions up into shorter videos. Even though most of my videos are 20 minutes long, I'd prefer to keep one mission to one video. Which means instead of being able to do my usual recording a whole week's worth of videos in a 2-hour session, I maybe only get 2 or 3 XCOM videos in that time. So it takes significantly longer to record. Not only that, it's actually had the fewest views out of any series that I've run recently. If it had been any other series, I would have probably just retired it and said, okay, I'm not going to bother finishing it. But I knew that it would only take me around about 40 videos to complete, so I decided, well, I might as well carry on. I'm going to finish playing the game anyway, so I might as well record it while I do it. But that is finished. So I'm probably not going to go back and play XCOM 2 again, not for a while anyway. We'll at least wait and see what happens when the DLC comes out, or maybe wait for an expansion and see how people feel about me playing it then. But I'm not necessarily sure that it is the right thing for a channel, which is weird, even though it is a strategy game, and even though it's the very first game, well, XCOM 1 was the very first game that I played on my channel, it doesn't really seem to appeal to my audience, so that's fair enough. EU4, currently still in the Venice campaign. I can see that probably going on for a few more weeks. I am going to have to start to think about getting that wrapped up because we've got Mare Nostrum on the horizon. Not exactly sure when that is going to launch. There might even be a release date. I haven't actually checked for it at the moment, but the problem usually is whenever they release a DLC, especially one that changes major base game mechanics, and especially one that changes the map by adding or moving provinces around, it's generally incompatible with the older save games. And even if you can get the older save game to work, you very often find that it can be buggy. So I'd sooner get the series finished so that we can start a new series with Mare Nostrum than not finish the current game and suddenly find out that we can't continue with it because it's broken. So I should be getting a key for Mare Nostrum from Paradox when it releases. I don't usually get the DLCs from those guys in advance. I usually get given a key on or after release. But it does mean that I can make some newer, fresher tutorials. I'm probably not going to make a whole new tutorial series again like I did for Common Sense. But I will probably just go and make a couple of videos just detailing the changes for people that have picked up Mare Nostrum, and of course we'll go and play the game as well. We'll probably have a campaign with Mare Nostrum. Still playing Civilization 5, still trying to get my first win on Deity. Whether or not we win or lose this game, I'll probably do at least one more straight after it, try and get a win if I don't, or just to confirm it if I do, and probably playing with a different civilization this time around. I do feel that I wouldn't say Civilization 5 is coming to the end of its life. It is still a very popular game. There's still a lot of people playing it, but there's only so many times that you can play the game in its vanilla fashion. And as you know, I'm not really one for playing modded stuff, apart from Minecraft. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about Civilization 5. Hopefully we'll be hearing about a Civilization 6 soon, but you never know. So I should also be getting a key, hopefully, for Stellaris. I am not one of the Paradox lucky few, so I don't get to go to Sweden and play the stuff months in advance, but with any luck, I will be able to get some access to it and provide you with some videos on that, maybe post-launch. If that happens, it's going to be sort of like very, very close to the launch date. I'm definitely not going to get access to it months in advance, but almost certainly we'll definitely have, well actually no, we'll definitely have, there will be videos of Stellaris post-launch, because if they don't send me a key, I'll buy the game anyway, because I do want to play it. So that'll be another game that I'll be covering on the channel. Also Hearts of Iron 4. I've never played any of the Hearts of Iron games before. Didn't play 1, 2 and 3. But I am interested in 4. I've already told Paradox this. They might send me a key. But again, if not, I'll still probably go and buy the game. So those are a couple of games that will be coming up in the future on the channel. Also, Total War Warhammer. It keeps getting pushed back, but I have got a pre-order for that. I will be getting it, unless they move the date again, on the end of May. And I'll probably take a week. I don't know. I want to try and take some time to get back into it again. I haven't played a Total War game for a very long time. I actually did consider starting up a weekend series and playing Total War Rome 2. I haven't played any of those games in such a long time though, and I'd be so rusty. And I know the Warhammer community can be a little bit brutal, and I didn't want to get ripped apart by putting up a Let's Play and just being totally terrible and derpy at the game. But I still have a few months. I'm still undecided whether or not I actually want to do the Rome 2 Total War game. I might still do that. I might throw it up as a weekend series and just play it bit by bit. I haven't really decided on that yet. But that is a game that I will be getting access to. Hopefully I'll be getting access to Overwatch at some point as well. Again, it'll probably be after it goes into open beta or sort of post-release. Just need to find some friends to play that with. Not necessarily sure if I'm going to put that on the channel yet, though, because it is quite different from the stuff that I do. And I appreciate, like Hearthstone was, people got burned out on it before it even released, because so many YouTubers and streamers were covering it that you just sort of got bored of it and go, well, I can't even play it, and I'm just sick of seeing it now. So I don't know how I'm going to work things out with that one. We'll have to see when we come to that. Obviously, I've also been speaking to Julian Gollop, the developer behind the original XCOM and Laser Squad, and most recently Chaos Reborn. And he's got a new project up and coming called Phoenix Point. He hasn't really released any details about it yet to the press, other than the fact that he's making it. I do know a few bits and pieces about it. There are some things about it that I'm very excited about. I don't want to go and blab right now because Julian hasn't made it public himself and he hasn't expressly given me permission to say any of those things, so I don't want to go and sort of break any trust there. But what I will say is some of the things that he's told me, features and mechanics that the game is going to have, I'm quite excited for, because it's going to be quite fresh and different to see in that genre of game. The genre of game, of course, being basically sort of XCOM Laser Squad. It's going to be a tactical battles with a world strategic overview, basically. More than that I can't really go into, because one, I don't know, and two, the things that I do know don't really want to give away yet. But watch this space. The game is currently being prototyped, so hopefully there'll be something playable, and I'll be able to bring you a video, most likely with Julian, in the near future. That's my hope for that, at least. There was one other thing on the list which I've completely blanked now. It's just sort of floated away from my brain and I can't remember what it was, but I'm almost certain that there was something else that I was planning to play in the future. Factorio, a few people have mentioned that. I do have Factorio. I did start playing it recently with my friend Tibor. He's got a lot more experience with it than I have. I picked it up when it went on Steam, and I think we played one multiplayer session together. Admittedly, for hours. We got quite far. We might do a small series of that. It'll probably be me and him together, because like I said, he knows what he's doing a lot better than I do, and I think it's one of those games where it does lend itself better to actually having two players. It just makes it easier getting stuff done. So there may be some stuff with Factorio. We'll have to see what happens. Tibor's also one of those responsible people with, you know, real world adult jobs and stuff, so his availability isn't the same as mine is. So I don't know, we'll see how that works out. But that's currently sort of all the plans that I've got for things that are on the channel presently. I do still want to keep covering various games that come out. If I can get my hands on pre-releases. I get sent a lot of keys now from indie developers. It is nice that I am at that size where I can actually get keys for games. A lot of the keys that I get, though, are for some really low budget and quite frankly terrible indie games, or just games that are not the sort of genre that I play. And my general rule is unless someone releases a really terrible game that should know better, like if EA or 2K or somebody massive goes and, or Ubisoft, somebody goes and releases a AAA game that should be good, and I play it and it's an absolute stinker, then I'll call them out on it. But I don't want to be one of these guys that hates on indies for producing a pretty crappy title. I'd just sooner not give them the coverage, you know. It's like, I'm not going to spend my time making a video on your game when A, I'm not interested in the game, B, people on the channel probably aren't going to watch your video, and C, I'm not going to have anything nice to say about it anyway. I'd just sooner not make the video. So that's the general rule that I live by. But occasionally I do get given keys for better games, and I will try and cover them as much as possible. Aside from that, the only other thing that I've really changed is on my videos. I've put an end slate on all of them. It is a terrible end slate, I completely agree, but I'm no artist, I'm no graphic designer. I just wanted to have an end slate on the videos so that I could put the names of my patrons on. I mean, I've been running my Patreon now for probably about 8 or 9 months. Didn't really advertise it when I first started it, but then I mentioned it about 6 months ago and a few people joined up, and I've then made an effort to try and come up with some rewards for the people that support me on Patreon, even though the rewards aren't particularly too far out of the box. There's only so much I can offer, but at the time of recording this, I've actually got 16 patrons, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but consider this. I get approximately 70 to 80,000 views a month, and 16 patrons have more than doubled the income that I made from YouTube. So that should show you how little money I actually make on YouTube ad revenue. It's quite terrible. I've got no problem with putting the end slate on the videos. It doesn't take long in terms of the actual editing process. It does add an extra 20 seconds to the end of the video. I know some people really dislike videos that have intros on and outros on, especially if you're binge watching on a playlist. You've got that extra 20 seconds in between that you've seen over and over again. Hopefully it's not too intrusive. I also go through every video once it's uploaded and add annotations to that end slate. I make it so the subscribe button and the Patreon button actually link to where they should do. That's probably the most time-consuming change. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep up with doing that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If somebody wants to support me on Patreon or somebody wants to subscribe to the channel, they can do that anyway. They don't need to be able to click on an annotation. I just do that to try and make it, you know, an ease of life thing for people. But saying that, in the last couple of months, I think I've only had one new patron, and it's difficult to tell whether subscribers are coming from those clicks or not. And in all fairness, when it's an end slate, most people that get to the end of the videos are already subscribers anyway. So maybe I'm going to stop putting the annotations on. I haven't really decided on that yet. But that's basically everything that's going on with the channel so far. So there will be some new games coming up in the future. I will still, as I said, be carrying on with EU4 and doing Mare Nostrum when that comes out. I will be carrying on with Civ 5 at least for a little bit. XCOM's finished. And then we've got Stellaris, Hearts of Iron, Phoenix Point, Total War Warhammer, and possibly Factorio, possibly Overwatch, and anything else that takes my fancy that comes along in between. Obviously, you've also seen me do some videos on the channel for Planet Coaster recently. That is a game that I have been very interested in, and I still am. I did want to make more videos of that, but I don't think I can at the moment because of the game in its current state. While I'm very impressed with what they've done so far, in the current alpha, it isn't really much of a game. There's no gameplay, essentially. It is a free build sandbox mode. There's no money, there's no research, there's no staff management, there's no guest management, no park management. Basically, all you can do is plonk down rides, put down paths, put down the modular buildings. There's no... You know, there's no sort of challenge to it at the moment. You cannot fail the game. There's no fail state. So it's it'll be nice to delve into every now and then while it's going through the alpha process, just so I can look and see what they've added and how things have changed. But I don't really think it's video series material, not at the moment anyway. But it is something that I will be keeping my eye on over the near future. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thanks for listening to me ramble on for the last 20 minutes, and just know that I do appreciate the continued support of every single one of you guys. It's been a fantastic ride the last sort of nearly 4 years now on YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to hitting that 10,000 subscriber mark. That's going to be the next big milestone for me. That's what I'm aiming for, so let's hope that 2016 will be the year where we break that 10k threshold. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and until then, goodbye for now.